my name is Sean Eldon. I'm an English teacher and forum leader at Community High School. This semester I teach American Lit and Fantasy Lit. I think I always wanted to be an English teacher. That was really important to me because I loved my English classes when I was in high school. I loved reading. I was a huge reader. I loved writing. I hoped that I could become like a novelist when I was a kid. Alas, I'm not a novelist. But I always loved English class. So that was a big part of it. The second side of it was high school itself was a challenging time in my life. I hoped that I could be a mentor person for high school age kids because I had been searching for a mentor person and I really hadn't found one at my school, So that was a big part of it. I think that as a young teacher, the obvious challenges were things like classroom management, dealing with student behavior that I saw as misbehavior. So one piece of advice I would say to newer teachers is all behavior is communication. So if you label a kid's behavior bad, you can be missing what they're trying to communicate with that behavior. Maybe they're bored, maybe they're confused, maybe they've had a bad experience in a class like yours. And so you have to kind of read their behavior and give them a chance to elaborate on it, and to grow through it. The other piece of advice I would give a young teacher is it can be really easy to try to be the kind of teacher that other people are expecting you to be, a principal or a group of colleagues or people in a community, like in a tight-knit school community. But you'll never be a satisfied person and you'll never be a great teacher if you don't figure out what you want to be as a teacher. How you interact with kids, how you interact with the material, how you draw healthy boundaries between your school life and your private life. All that stuff really needs to be motivated by your sense of your mission and your purpose, and by checking in with what feels right. This is my fourth full year. I think that I've become much more aware of our students. I'm aware of the families who call community home. I've had a number of siblings at this point, so that's pretty cool. I think I have a stronger sense of the building, how other people do their work, how other teachers teach, and I feel like I can blend into that I'm not just kind of doing it on my own. I also feel really fortunate to be here because, I've said this a lot of schools are created as kind of holding spaces for kids, and kids and humans want some freedom. They want some room to be themselves. And so a lot of kids, say they hate school, not because of something specific, but because generally it just feels like it's stifling. And I feel like at Community, I really appreciate how kids seem to honor and value opportunities for independence, opportunities for growth, and they generally demonstrate appreciation and gratitude for their teachers, for one another, and for school. And I think that's really special.